Hello, it's your favorite sports Unc here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join the fastest growing community on YouTube. Remember, Nightcap doesn't happen without you. So please subscribe or you're going to make Ocho cry. Ocho, it's safe to say a lot of people in Dallas wanted Nico Harrison out as the Mavericks general manager, including franchise former majority owner Mark Cuban. Mavericks owner Patrick Dumont reportedly did not make the decision on his own. Amid the Mavericks' woeful 3-8 start to the 2025 season, Dumont reportedly lent an ear to Cuban to hear his grievances about the organization. From the excerpt from The Athletic, Cuban, who still owned 27% of the team, was known to be frustrated with Harrison for freezing him out after the sale and not consulting him on the choice to trade Luka. League sources said he made his case to Dumont over the last several months that Harrison was steering the franchise in the wrong direction. Cuban also reportedly in a closed-door meeting with Dumont and team president Rick Welts the day before Harrison was fired, according to an NBA insider, Mark Stein. Ocho?
Yeah.
Let Joe take this one. Joe, what you thinking?
Man, I think it's a tough situation for Nico. Nico is a guy who was once upon a time Unc and Ocho. He was my Brand Jordan rep. Like wow. if I need anything, that's who I call. So I know Nico on a real personal level. What he didn't anticipate is obviously Kyrie getting hurt. AD getting hurt, which I know AD got a history.
What you mean you didn't anticipate AD getting hurt?
He didn't. I mean, he wasn't thinking that. He wasn't.
Oh, Joe. So let me get this straight. Your homeboy, he done wrecked 10 cars. You let him get your car, man. I ain't.
Yeah, you're right. I think he was a little optimistic coming into the season. Like, man, understanding the backlash that we getting on trading Luka. Like, I'm thinking. I bet he thought that AD was gonna come into camp in tip-top shape and ready to go. That didn't happen. You got your two main guys. Kyrie tears ACL. I mean, this is the worst thing that can happen. This is the worst thing that can happen. So now you got Luke out here averaging 40, and the Mavericks' best two players ain't even on the floor.
Correct. And it's and considering, like you said, Kyrie gets hurt, AD's hurt. It was reported that Nico was pushing for AD to come back from that calf. They're saying no because you could tear this Achilles, a la Kevin Durant. So there's like no. Mark Cuban let it be known. He's like, look, I wouldn't have traded Luka, but at least if you're going to trade him, open it up. Let's see, maybe we can get. I believe we could have got more than what we got, and they could have.
Yeah. But I got a question, though. Uncle Ocho. Why are they acting like Nico was the only one who made this decision?
He's the fall guy, Joe.
Well, I know he's the fall. Hey, listen. I know probably going into this, Nico probably understood his position in this. You know what I mean? But it's like everybody just pointing the finger at Nico. Man, that's an organization. That man ain't just pulled the trigger. Yeah, he ain't just pulled no trigger and was like, let's trade Luka. Like they had to meet with all this. That's what I'm saying.
Listen, you could have had 100 meetings, huh? You could have had 100 meetings. You could have had 100 owners. You could have had 100 GMs. I don't think anybody makes that call. I don't think anybody makes that trade. I don't care what the hell he do off the court. I don't care what the hell he drinking after you win a game. I don't care. I don't care if he's 300 pounds. What do you do for me when you are on the court? What are you doing for me? What type of production are you putting up? Whatever that may be. He's a generational talent. Talents like of that magnitude come around every so often. Every so often. I don't think if you put any regular civilian in a position that, even if you don't know basketball, I don't even know basketball like you and Joe, and I can Luka, and you have me in a position of power, I ain't even trading him because I know what he brings to the table. I'm not. You can see it. Even if you don't enjoy the game of basketball. Oh, he's different. Oh, he gives me a chance. He just does. So now Nico's the fall guy. He's the fall guy because the green light has to come from somewhere else. The green light has to come from somewhere else. And it's a power play that we don't understand that they do. Because I think it's bigger than what it really is. It just hasn't come out yet. I still think it's bigger than what it is.
At the end of the day, Joe, I don't know if you own any companies, but having here at Shay Shay Media, they make suggestions.
Right.
I said, okay, let's do it. If it doesn't work, that's on me. Because they suggested it. I could have said no. Same thing with CJ, same thing with Ash. They make suggestions. Okay, I go with it. Some work, some don't. That's on me. Because I got the final say. Okay, Nico made the suggestion.
Right.
But the owner had the final say. You don't get to say, see, you can't say yes and means no. Ted Cruz taught me that. He said a lot of times people in Hollywood will say yes but mean no. You can't do that. Dumont, if you don't want to trade him, you can't say yes and then he trades him and you like, no. It doesn't work like that.
Right.
And if you're in the leadership position, you're the CEO. Yes, you have COOs and VPs and so forth and so on. But if they make a recommendation and it doesn't go through, they had to get sign off from you. If you sign off on it, you got to own it.
Yeah. Matter of fact,
everything is not going to work.
Hold on. The fact that it was even recommended, that's a fireable offense. The fact that it was even recommended, it was a fireable offense. How? How are you going? How do you have your franchise going in the right direction by going backwards?
Well, you gotta look at it like this. They had Luka sitting out some games for some time last year, Unc and Ocho,
for
his cap, and they gave him extra time because they wanted him to lose some weight. Throughout that process, none of that was working. Like, he wasn't losing weight. None of that was working. I think the fact that they see him every day, talk to him every day, understand his conditions and what he's going through, I think they just got fed up. If you just want me to be 100, I think they got fed up, and they didn't think it was going to get better.
They didn't.
No, they didn't think it was going to get better.
This is what the owner said in February after the trade. If you look at the greats in this league, people I grew up with, Jordan, Bird, Kobe, Shaq, they work really hard every day with a singular focus. And if you don't have that, it doesn't work. You shouldn't be a part of the Mavericks. That's what he said. Now all of a sudden,
hey, listen, hold on, whoa, hold on. You ain't finna get that out and just go about your business, huh? You ain't gonna get that out. You're not finna sit here and tell me that he watched Jordan and all those names that he just named and saying they didn't work hard. You understand their ability to work hard, the want to, is one of the reasons for the success. So what's the reason that Luka's able to go out there and do what he does? Because he doesn't work hard? You don't just wake up and do what he's doing out the blue. That comes from actual work. That's hard work. There's a reason he's still doing it now that he's gone. He's not doing what he's doing now because he lost no goddamn weight. He was doing it when he was heavy. What are we talking about?
I think with him, I will
respectfully say, Joe, he probably should have left Shaq off that list. But okay, go ahead.
I think by Luka hearing all this, because I'm sure he's heard all the rumblings and
sure.
The weight loss. I think that obviously gave him a little fire going into the offseason, which is why he lost a little weight. And he looks a lot slimmer coming into this season. And I think it's obviously helped him get off to this tremendous start that he's gotten off to.
Yeah.
But, being in LA,
averaging 37 a game.
Yeah, the market in LA is totally different from the market in Dallas now.
Yes.
They ain't putting up with all that. They ain't got nothing but mega stars over there.
And I think the thing is, this was a wake-up call for Luka. Because it sent shockwaves around the NBA.
Yeah.
Because if you can trade a guy that's been a 5-time All-NBA selection 5 times in his first 6 years, ain't nobody untouchable.
Yeah.
You heard Giannis say it. Nobody's untouchable. But this is ownership. Because Nico Harrison is not making a move like this. Mm-hmm. It's just like when you trade. When you move up the draft, Ocho, let's just say for the sake of argument, Kansas City, they were sitting at 17.
Yeah.
They zoom up to 10. So that means they're gonna swap places with Buffalo, and they're gonna give Buffalo their next year their 2018 first round pick. Okay, you got to get the ownership. You got to get Clark Hunt to sign off on that. Now Clark Hunt can't then say if Mahomes didn't turn out the way he did. Well, no, you gave them the green light to do this. If you didn't want to do it, don't do it. Everybody get mad at general managers and head coaches, and I get it, I understand. But when you make moves like that, Chicago moving up one spot and giving up next year's first round to get Mitchell Trubisky, they had to go to rest of soul Virginia McCaskey to get that signed off on, Ocho.
Yeah.
You just can't make a move like that. Ain't no general manager. Hell, even Pat Riley, he got to go to Mickey Harrison. I'm sure he going to Mickey Harrison and say, "Look here, Mickey. Now it's gonna cost a little chunk of change now, but we can get LeBron and we can get Chris Bosh.
Yeah,
but it's gonna cost us a little chunk of change now.
Yeah.
Okay. Go get it. But you said yes and you meant no. Well, it's too late. No returns, Ocho.
Nah.
You got as is. Mark Cuban said at the time, I wouldn't have traded him. Mark Cuban said if it came down to me getting divorced or keeping Luka, well, it's been not nice on you, babe. But Luka ain't going nowhere.
It's common, Don. It's common. I mean, I there's really nothing else I can say about it. I mean, the fact that it was even recommended. Recommend who? If I was the owners over there in Dallas, I would have fired Nico for even recommending trading him. I'm just being honest. You know what? You fired.
I can't say I'm disappointed.
Yeah, man, come on.
I can't say you're wrong for that, Ocho.
I just think it's glaring right now because of how Luka's playing and how the Mavericks have kind of
and plus what you call not playing. AD's not playing. But like I said, Joe, AD, if you really think about it, AD's had one healthy season. That's 2020 when they was in the bubble. And then what did they get in between that, Joe? A 5-month break.
Yeah.
See, people forget about that, Ocho. They shut it down in February.
Yeah.
So March, April, May, June, they didn't start playing. He got a 5-month break. Other than that, it's his back, it's his shoulder, it's his calf, it's his ankle. So he has a history. AD's phenomenal. I'm not going to take any away from him. He's a 75th anniversary. He's one of the 75. He was voted one of the 75 greatest players of all time. Mm-hmm. We used to have the discussion. Who would you rather have, Boogie Cousins or Anthony Davis? That's how good Boogie was.
Boogie was nice, boy.
But he's had an injury history. That is not conjecture. That's not innuendo. That's not speculation. That is fact. And you traded a guy, even though he had never been injured, but that one time, for a guy that's repeatedly injured. He's a repeat offender. He's a repeat offender when it comes to injury.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm confused. Now, if you trade him saying, okay, give me Giannis. Okay, give me Ant-Man. Okay, you get Shea. I get it. Now, I don't think any of those it reported they reached out to, I think, they reached out to Milwaukee, and I think they reached out to Minnesota. No. Okay, SGA. OKC is not doing that. But a guy that has an injury history, and I think AD, when he's healthy, he's one of the 10 best players in the NBA. He could defend. He could block. He could give you 25 and 13 on a nightly basis. Give you 2.5, 3 blocks a game. Alter shots. But he's had a history of injuries.
And that's what Dallas is banking on. You know, they went to the finals that year, Unc and Ocho, led by Luka and Kyrie. Mm-hmm. But they had inside presence defensively with Lively and Gafford, but they didn't get no points. They didn't have a big who can give them points.
Right.
So when I look at it, they went and got AD because they like, he'll be a great post presence, mid-post presence, a great pick and roll guy. Offensively, in the playoffs, he can average 30 easily. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what they were thinking, and obviously it just didn't pan out the way that they thought it would. Man.
But here's the thing, though, Joe. Okay, we get AD as an inside presence. We got a guy that we can dump the ball down to, and he gonna get his own shots. Yeah. I want that with Luka, not without Luka.
That you weren't gonna get that. You
well, then, I don't know what to tell you. I go somewhere else.
Yeah, some got to give.
That's why they kept Kyrie. I think they banked on Kyrie being that guy who's gonna be, it's gonna be a great 2-man game between Kyrie and AD. And unfortunately, we never got to see it.
Yeah.
No. Damn. And you probably you hear all the rumblings now that the Mavericks are looking to trade AD.
Yeah. Once those rumblings start, you already know.
Yeah, for sure.
You already know.
Well, it's gonna make it look even worse. The trade gonna look even. It already looks bad, and everybody thought it was bad. Nobody thought this was a good trade, but Nico and Dumont. Those are the people that thought this was a good trade. Who thought this was? I haven't heard anybody that thought this was a good trade, except Nico and Dumont at the time. Clearly, he's having buyer's remorse.
I don't even think they thought it was a good trade.
They had to, cause they did it.
Yeah. They had to come out and say it, and I know they in the back of their mind, like, you know what, this ain't right. Something ain't right. I done put my foot in my mouth. You knew good and goddamn well what you was letting go. You knew it wasn't gonna look no different, whether it was 200 pounds or 300 pounds. You knew he would give you 30.
Like I said, look, I think AD, when AD is healthy and he playing, because I've watched him. Go look at AD when he was the guy, and the Pelicans.
Ooh.
Give you 28, 12, and 3.
Nasty work.
That was a long time ago, though.
But that's what I'm saying. When he was healthy, had Boogie, because see, he wants to play. See, AD don't want to bang.
Yeah,
AD
him and
play
Boogie.
the 4. Now he'll play the 5, the last 5 minutes of the ball game, because that's what they did. Because think about it, Joe. He had his best season win with the Lakers. JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard. They would come in and play the 5. They did all the grunt work. They did all the leg work. Last 5 minutes of the game, guess what? He slides to the 5. LeBron slides to the 4.
Yeah.
That's when he did. That's when he did his work. But I just the trade didn't make sense to me. Because hold on, you're giving up a guy you say because Luka's not in shape and he's injured, but he's 5-6 years younger than AD.
Yeah.
He's 5-6 years younger, and he can give you the point. He can give you more points. He can rebound and he can assist. He can triple. He can walk in triple double. Now is he as efficient as AD? No, because he's taking 10, 11, 12 step back threes a game.
Yes, sir.
But when he's cooking, you ain't gonna find very many guys. Only Wilt could give you a 60-20 triple double, and that's what he did. I just don't get why. Look, I get it. Like Ocho said, I'd have fired him for making that suggestion. Man, get your ass out of here. How dare you come in my office talking about trade Luka? What the hell? As a matter of fact, I'm finna trade you for another GM.